Hello everyone and welcome to the wonderful Buds Express. This video brought to you by the one and only Super Gunder Man. And welcome to World of Warcraft and more specifically the beautiful Ashenvale, the dark and dank overgrown night elf clubhouse of World of Warcraft, essentially. Although Horde trying to take it. So, this particular video I am making because the other member of the Buds Express, Haas Power, he has started to play World of Warcraft. And in doing so, he has a lot of questions. He didn't ask me to make this video. It's kind of a surprise. Kind of like a happy birthday. Here's something new for you. But he has never played World of Warcraft. I got him. I've tried to convince him many times throughout the years. I've played for about 14 or 15 years. I've known him longer than that, and I've been trying to convince him to play World of Warcraft for a very long time because I know he'd like it, and he seems to be enjoying it so far. But anyway, this video, I think it was about 10 minutes into us talking on Discord, and he asked me the question. It came up, and he asked me the question, what are add-ons? Now, how do you even answer that question? Like, there are thousands. I think what I told him was they customize your game, and there's a lot of them, I think is all I could really say, because that's really all there is to it. So, I am going to go over my add-ons, which are not optimal. I just think it looks kind of cool. I don't really like where my chat box is, to be honest. But that being said, we'll get into the add-ons post-haste. First, we're going to go to this little add-on tab, and we're going to go through them in order. I'm going to go over a couple of them out of order, just because I feel like it. I feel like it'll make the video go more smoothly. So, first of all, add-ons. First one on the list is Atlas. An Atlas Classic WoW. That is... I grabbed the wrong thing. Atlas. Atlas gives you a map of all the instances in World of Warcraft. Now, it's not an interactive map. You can't see your character going through it like you can on a normal map. Like your little reticle, your little icon doesn't appear if you're in the dungeon. It just gives you a map to follow, which I personally don't bother using it for that. It's really useful for a new player because it lists all the quests that you can pick up, whether Alliance or Horde. So when you go into the dungeon, you can grab all the quests, do them all, and then you're set. You don't have to Google them. You don't have to ask around. Just all the information is right there, right on the side of the add-on. I think this might actually be a separate add-on. It's probably this one. Atlas is the map, and I think this Atlas Classic WoW is the quest aspect of it. So that is the first one. Very simple to explain. It's just a map of the dungeons. It gives you a list of quests. It also gives you pre-quest if it's a chain quest, like this one doesn't have one. Most of the Ragefire Chasm ones don't. But there's a small pre-quest to do hidden enemies, which I believe this little chat box icon is indicating that. Yes. So if there's no little chat box next to it, they ain't no pre-quest. Okay, and that's that one. Very simple, very straightforward. I'm going to be kind of quick and concise with my explanations, because there's a fair amount of add-ons. I don't want this to be a super long video. Next video after Atlas is Atlas Loot. Oh, this is Atlas Quest. Okay. So never mind. This is the quest aspect of that. Atlas Loot is this bad boy. It is a list of the dungeons as well, but it's a list of the gear that they drop, which is very... I mean, that's the reason why you're playing World of Warcraft, right? You want to collect gear. It's an MMO. It's an RPG. You want to you want to build your character. You want to make him stronger. You want to lift. You want to, Anyway, so yeah, again, that's fairly straightforward. It doesn't really have. It has all the things you can make through crafting, all things you could make, all the I guess faction. Yeah. All the faction rewards and stuff. Pretty much any gear you could want to look up, you can, or anything you're curious about. Any items if you're following a guide to gear your character, anything it just has all the gear listed. That's all Atlas Loot is. Atlas Loot lives up to its name. It provides information on loot. And now, next on our add-on list is Bag Brother. When bag non, bag free space counter, bag related stuff. Okay. So, bag non. Come over here, push B, big old bag. Instead of having separate little bags. Also, one of the add-ons, I'm not 100% sure which one it is, tells you what your other characters have in their inventory. See if I mouse over my linen cloth, I can see my mage has 3, my shaman has 2, my druid has 61, and my warlock has 166. Oh yeah, I have a whole bunch in my bag. I was thrown off by that. For a total of 233. 232, to be exact. So it helps you keep track of what your characters have without logging in and out, popping back and forth, and makes everything nice and convenient. But the bag add-ons, much like the loot add-ons, not a whole lot to explain. That's not the bag button. There's a key ring. You can toggle it on and off. You can mouse over to see which bags are holding what. There's a search function in case you can't find something, because your inventory will get very cluttered the longer you play. There's a cleanup button. I guess it does that. I don't like that, but I like things the way I had it. I guess I'll fix that later. I don't know what the cleanup button actually does, like how it prioritizes where anything goes, but at any rate, it has a cleanup button, it has a search, it has settings, which I've never bothered with, so I'm not going to explain. If I don't know it, why would I explain it? Okay, and that's the bag. That's my bag add-ons. Let us go to our next one. Bartender 4. Better vendor prices. That just mouse over, see how much the vendor's for. Bartender 4. Now, Bartender 4 is why my dealio here looks so much different. You left click on it, and then you can grab and drag, click that off. Grab and drag the bars wherever you want to place them. It's very nice and a lot of people just center them. That's kind of what I went with too. Also, a nice thing is you can drag these little dragons around. Now I want bar snapping back on because it'll snap to the center. And then it'll snap all over because it's a pain in the ass. Drag it up nice and easy. I can see that gap. Don't think I don't. Okay, perfect. And then I snap that back in where it goes. I missed. Sweet. And it's not center. Wonderful. Come on, come on. You know I'm going to notice that, and I'm going to hate it for the rest of my life. Okay. So that's a little bit of what bartender can do. You notice these tiny little icons over here. If you right-click on it, you bring up a whole big bartender, like, customization for all your bars. And in fact, standard World of Warcraft has about 4, maybe 5. You can have 10, and you can customize your bag and menu, pet bar, vehicle bar, everything. I don't have the XP part turned off. You can move it around too if you want to. If you want to stick it over here so it's just obstructing your view, you can. But we'll get into why I have that turned off later. But the only real customization I use for this would be on bar 3. This guy right here. See, it starts off like that. It's a vertical bar that goes over here. I took the rows, reduced it down to 3, and made it this nice little square. And I reduced the scaling down to 7. So I can put all the things that are moderately useful every now and then over to the side to where they're smaller, less cumbersome, They're there if I need them. And that is wonderful for me. Plus, they're kind of cute. Because, like, I don't need to, like, breathe underwater right now or summon anybody since I'm not in a party. I don't need to summon my demons as often as I need to cast my damaging spells. So you just stick the not as useful things over here. The support skills. Probably totems for shaman, the ones you don't use that often. Yeah. But Bartender has a lot of customization, a lot of utility, and it is a very useful add-on. I actually just downloaded it yesterday, and I've been loving it the entire time that I've had it. But there's a lot more to Bartender. I'm not going to go into all the details, as I said. I'm going to be nice, quick, and concise about my information. I'm going to rebuff myself because I'm very OCD about my buffs. And we're going to go into our next set of add-ons. After Bartender, we have Classic Orderations, Classic Cast-Bar. I don't actually use any of these, by the way. Dismounter is something you probably won't need. Let me explain Dismounter to you. In Classic WoW, at level 40, you get a mount, right? Your mount completely pacifies your character. You have to manually right-click on your mount or make a dismounting macro to get off your mount. I imagine this is just a macro in an add-on form, but in Burning Crusade, you perform an action like a spell or an attack, you dismount automatically. In Classic WoW, you run up to an enemy, you stand there and stare at it until you manually click off your mount. It is a horrible pain in the ass. Dismounter solves that problem. Obviously, I can't show you on my level 22 Warlock because I don't have my mount. And also in Burning Crusade, that's not the situation. If you attack on your mount in the Burning Crusade, you automatically dismount. So Dismounter is going to be useless in a few weeks anyway. We're going to go over Ice Hud after Quartz and Z Pearl. Quartz. Now, Quartz is one of my favorite add-ons. Also, I should probably show how to customize your add-ons. You go to Interface Options, you go to Add-ons. And then all your add-ons are right here. Quartz is a casting bar add-on that, let's see, let's grab something with a slow cast. I can't do that. See? It tells you what it is. It tells you exactly how long it's going to be. And also this little red spot, that is to dictate your latency. When the bar gets to the red, that's when the spell is done casting. It doesn't have to reach all the way over. If it gets in this area, the spell is done. Quartz is nice because that was much more useful back when they had spell batching in, when the game was running at 400 and a 400 ms delay. Right now it's not, so it's not as useful. But what's useful is you can set a target one, which mine is off center, and that's bothering me. So that helps with spell interrupts. When you can see exactly when you have like a second or 0.5 seconds to interrupt. Because if you have a class that can interrupt, like you're playing a mage, and you use counterspell, the whole time the mob is casting a spell, it's not doing anything but standing there. So you want to try to interrupt the spell, like right as he's about to cast it. So being able to see the latency, being able to see exactly when it's like at 0.3 seconds or 0.5 seconds is the best time to interrupt, which makes this add-on particularly useful because I can do Hearthstone again. I can interrupt about there, and he was standing, a boss, a mob, whatever, PvP, whatever's casting the spell was just standing there for 2.5 seconds. And they got shit fucked right at the end. Because you had Quartz and you knew when to time the interrupt. Very, very useful. That's why I like Quartz. And that's why I have Quartz. Also, I think, let me see here. You can also change a lot about it. You can change the width, the size, you can change the font, you can customize it as much as you want. You can change the colors, you can put it like, I didn't show that, I probably should have. You can go up here, toggle it, you can put it like anywhere you want. So if you're fighting a boss that has a very crucial interrupt, you can drag this, put it right here in the middle of the screen, so you know you're going to look at it. And that's Quartz. Quartz is wonderful. Quartz is probably one of my favorite add-ons, despite it just being kind of a nice, simple cast bar add-on. Okay, moving on. We have... Did I skip Omni CC? I gotta be honest, I don't even remember what Omni CC is. Yeah, I don't use Omni CC. I never bothered. I probably saw it in a YouTube video, and I've downloaded it thinking that looks useful, and then I never bothered setting anything up with it. So Omni CC is an add-on you can look into. I have it for some reason. It's probably useful in some way. But I'm a bit of a slag, and I didn't bother with it. Recount. Recount is a interface add-on. Recount toggle. You can also, I think slash toggle recount brings it up. No, I mean it used to. Anyway, it's a damage meter, so you can see how much damage you're not doing. Of course, if you're playing a mage, you see how much damage you're doing more than everybody else. It also has damage. It has dispels, which I haven't done any. Dispelled. It has a lot of it. It's a damage meter that keeps track of a lot. Energy gain, regen, powder. A lot of stuff you probably won't. If you use it, you use it for the damage meter mostly, or if you're a healer, the healing meter. So yeah, recount's very simple. It keeps track of how much damage you're doing. I like to use recount when I'm gearing at end game to see my character's damage progressively get higher and higher as I get gear. At level 40, if you're linking the damage meters, you're a beta male, and you should feel bad for yourself that you feel like it was necessary that you show how much better you are than everybody at this point in the game. That was a bit of a tangent. That wasn't called for. I'm sorry to all you beta males who do that. But yeah, that's all that is. It has a lot to it. I'll leave it if you... Recount is one of several damage meters, though. I don't even know if Recount is the most popular one anymore. It was back in the day when I played. Vanilla WoW. But anyway, it's a damage meter. Add-on. Next one is what's training? Now this is one that's useful to new players, but since you're following a guide, not as useful. If you're following a guide, not as useful. You can close this. Open up your spellbook. What can I train? It lets you know what level and how much it's going to cost for each batch of skills that you can train in. As you can see right now, I didn't train in my level 22 skills. Actually, you can't see that anywhere. Well, I guess you can if you look at... I didn't train any of my level 22 skills because I don't think there's anything worth going back to the major city for at this moment. That saves me time, that saves me money. When I am approaching one of the even levels, 22, 24, 26, I check this, and if I don't see anything worth training for, I just continue on questing. It's a very useful add-on, because travel time in Classic WoW, that's what's gonna, and making videos like this, that's what's going to increase your play time and reduce your leveling efficiency, if you're worried about that. But at level 26 or level 24, I get corruption. I want that as soon as possible, so I'll go back to Orgrimmar to train. I haven't trained my demons since level 20, so I can get 5 new abilities for my demons, unless I never got these. I don't remember. But that's what's training. It's another very simple add-on. I usually go for simple add-ons. I don't want to make my game all cluttered and out of whack. And there's X to level. It's this nice little add-on down here. It tells you about how many kills it'll take, about how many quests it'll take, about how many dungeons, battlegrounds, your percentage to level, and about how long it will take for you to reach the next level. It's of course not exact. I don't think it can be. I think it's literally impossible for it to be. It's just it's takes the amount of experience that you've gotten from the last kill, and it usually tries to calculate how long it's going to take and all that. But that's X2 level. Another very simple add-on. I sometimes forget I have it, to be honest. And then we have Z Pearl. Now Z Pearl, this is not Z Pearl. Z Pearl is this little circle over here. Hold on, let me see. You right-click on it. A lot of options here. I'm not going to bother with those. Left-click, you bring up the menu. Z Pearl is by far my biggest add-on that I have. It has so many options, so many interface options in such a tiny font, but it's so useful. The best thing about it, in my opinion, because I'm a simpleton, is it makes your character icon like a 3D model, so it's moving around and doing its thing. You can get rid of it. You can make it a class portrait. You make it a class portrait. You can make it an extended portrait if it'll click. Reduce it. You can also have a cast bar. It'll cast the spell above your name. I don't do that because I have quartz, obviously. But man, there's just so much. If you really want to see a Z Pearl, like, I would suggest watching specifically a Z Pearl tutorial, because I haven't ever really bothered with it all that much. I just think it gives you a whole lot of information compared to other add-ons. Like percentages, health. It gives you exact health of the mobs you're fighting, which it also hold on. Let me go to target. It lets you see your target's buffs. It just gives you so much information, and lets you see targets, buffs, and debuffs. It lets you see target's 3D portrait. You can change the size of buffs. You can change the size of buffs and debuffs. Like right now, my buffs and my debuffs on the target are much larger than everyone else's debuffs, so I know which ones are mine, so I can track my spells much better. You can show their cast bar, which I don't, because once again I have quartz. You can change your bunch of your pets. Like I got my pets bar shrunken down. Actually, that was part of bartender. I shrunk my pet bar down and stuck it under my pet, so it was out of the way. Which is something you can do with bartender. Go back to bartender. How nice that one is. Your pet's target, because keeping track of your pet in classic WoW is a visceral pain in the ass. What you want to do with the pet in classic WoW, you want to set them to passive. You want to come in here, you want to type /macro, boom, /macro, pet attack, macro, pet attack. This is my hunter one. I actually think I'm still using that one. Yeah. If for a warlock, you just need pet attack. I don't have hunter's mark. This is a hunter macro, but it also works for warlocks. Obviously, you can't cast hunter's mark as a warlock because you don't have that skill, but the pet attack macro is just /pet attack. And then you click on it, your pet will attack something. Whatever you want to attack. Always set your pet to passive. Aggressive is good for PvP. It'll kill your party in every instance you go to. Defensive is if something is attacking you, the pet will attack it. So you have to set it to attack manually on defensive regardless, since you're not tanking in an instance. Just set your pet to passive. Use a pet attack macro. Pro tip, 100% pro tip here. Always use a wedge of cheese has the pet attack macro. That is not a suggestion. Always use a wedge of cheese. I think I just kind of stopped talking about Z Pearl. But yeah, that's why. Because you want to know what your pet is attacking. So having the pet's target show up, it's around here. Pet's target. You want to know what your pet is attacking, because with your pet on passive, you can just look right over here, see what your pet's attacking, or see if your pet is not attacking anything. And it's wonderful. And that's Z Pearl. It's just unit frames. I have a few more. Okay. just a handful more. We have Character Stats Classic and Deja Classic Stats. These are essentially the same thing. Open up your character menu here. This is Deja Stats, and this is Classic Stats. Let me show you what it looks like without them. And then I'll explain to you why they're very useful. Push C. Oh, look. As a caster, my melee attack power is 3, and my range is 110. That is damage with a melee weapon and damage with a bow and arrow. There's no critical hit, there's no hit rating, there's nothing here. The only way you can see your critical hit rating is by going to attack. Now my melee attack is 0.52%. And let me ask you a very good question. Where is my spell crit chance indicated? If you guess nowhere, you are correct. There's no way to see most of your stats in Classic WoW. Stand up. Absolutely no way. It's completely absurd. I don't know what that's all about. So, can I just slash add-on? No, I can't. So go back to your add-ons. We'll open these. We'll turn these on one at a time. Character Stats Classic. Reload. Okay, so that gives you drop-down menus, so you can see spell crit 5.2, spell hit 0, unfortunate, but 10% with reflection spells because of my talents. This add-on will not be needed in the Burning Crusade because this add-on makes the character screen look like the Burning Crusades. They added this drop-down menu in the next expansion, the Burning Crusade. So this add-on won't be useful. In about a few weeks, hopefully when the pre-patch comes out, they'll add that. Deja Classic Stats, however, it gives you all this: resistances, defenses, spell enhancements. I don't need that. I don't. Primary stats. Gives the durability of your armor, your movement speed. This is going to be useful regardless of this little drop-down menu. It's just nice to have both if I don't want to look like, where's my spell crit? Like, it's right here. Oh, that's melee. See, I've looked at the wrong one. This is just more concise information. This is more information about your character. The reason it's so, like, minimalistic baseline is Classic WoW was meant to follow D&D rules more closely and less MMO, like RPG rules. So you weren't supposed to know all that, like just at a glance. I guess. I'm not 100% sure. But that's what I've heard, and that's what I'm going to recite to you. Okay, now that is that. We still have one more add-on to talk about, and that's the one I just downloaded today. That is Ice HUD. That is these nice little bars next to me. This is these nice little bars. Why am I list? Oh, because I'm my target. Okay, so let me explain. The one on the inside is my health and mana. And since I'm targeting myself, the one on the outside is also my health and mana. I assume this is my pet. I haven't actually used this with my warlock yet. So let me run over here, pull this little apparently humanoid paladin, cast a spell at him, send the pet in, give him a good smack. This gives you a nice little cast bar, information right in the center. I don't have to look around my screen to see what's going on. I can't help but notice it didn't show his cast bar. I thought it would. Alright. You are taking an embarrassingly long amount of time to kill. Please die. Thank you. It gives you information directly in the middle of your HUD. And there's a whole bunch of different graphical settings. I guess we can look at them. Position, but bar settings. See, there's round bar, there's color bar. A whole bunch of different settings. I'm going to go back to my round bar because I like it. I like it a lot. It has a cast bar, it has health bars. I did it not show his... I was pretty sure it was supposed to show his cast bar too. I don't know why it didn't. Because he cast a heal and I just had no idea. Colors. Casting. Target. Well, for some reason it doesn't have a target cast bar. Focus health, mana, target. I mean, that seems kind of like an oversight. But anyway, it gives you nice, concise information right in the middle of your screen. It can easily replace Z-Pearl because it shows you what you're targeting. I don't think that's a paladin. I'm going to pull this guy again. I'm going to see if I just missed it. Because he's going to heal himself at about half health, and I want to know what is up with all that noise. No, it's not showing his cast bar. Okay, whatever. I guess it ain't gotta. And you resist my immolate. Cool, good, fun. You've... And so I was going to say, what I was going to say about Ice HUD is it is a nice, concise UI add-on that can replace all. It can get rid of all this clutter, except it doesn't show buffs. Your buffs are up here. It doesn't show buffs, debuffs. It doesn't show enemy cast bars apparently. So it can't completely replace everything. It can replace Z-Pearl, I guess. And it's fun to watch the little bars go up and down. I have already said once I'm a simpleton, and I will forever stand by that. They're pretty, and I like them. And there's a paladin. That's a warrior. That's a salmon. But anyway, that's not nearly as concise as I meant to be. Rundown of my add-ons. It makes the game look a bit... Obviously, it's not super well polished. It's not that great. My setup isn't something you'd write home about, to be honestly. But I like it. It's mine. And you can't take that from me. I'm going to shadow bolt this boy. Watch me kill one more dude. Suck on my wand, boy. And see he's attacking. That's why you train your Void Walker, his skills, because mine can't hold aggro right now. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, I will probably make more WoW videos now that Horsepower is playing. We'll probably have some fun, have a good time, and I will see you all later. Have a wonderful day. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe, and follow me for more content.